like a lot of establishments have to go to liquor stores to actually get their product and then bring it back to the restaurants. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it was really weird. Somebody was trying to
You say
explain that. I
their
was like,
products were available in tiers.
We're not at that
Yes.
topic
yes,
yet.
yes, absolutely. And speaking of tiers, Rick,
That's the
The
wrong
president
topic.
really makes me.
God damn it. What's the highest tiered job in the country?
Is guacamole a fruit salad?
What is the best milkshake for bringing boys to the yard?
Ostriches are dinosaurs.
Don't piss off old people. New game,
What do you mean it gives you Arby's mouth?
artisanal muck duck balls.
I think they call that autofellatio.
I want to high five a shark.
Welcome to Bar Banter. Relax, have a drink with us as we debate the most controversial topics in the world today.
On today's podcast, we talk about. That was a good one. That was a good
I've
one.
been saving that one for a while. I don't know if we can use that, Travis.
Oh,
Honestly.
we can. Which myth is most likely to be true? Which fictional character would make the best president? And we create a famous animal tier list. But first, we have a guest with us this evening, Jamie Jackson. What are you drinking? And tell us a little about yourself.
So all I'm drinking is water because I have to be up at 5 a.m.
Thank you for joining.
I do it to myself. And I'm an author. I've got an urban fantasy superhero series, a fantasy romance retelling of Tristan and Isolde, and coming out on Halloween,
Ooh.
I have a dark romantic fantasy retelling of Shakespeare's Macbeth.
That's pretty
Sweet.
cool.
Yeah.
I have two questions before you pass it off to somebody else. Are you published under your own name?
Yes.
And are there audiobook versions of your books yet?
Not yet, because I was looking at recording them myself just because of how much getting the audiobooks narrated would cost. But, that also takes time that I don't have.
What's the name of the
A
book
lot.
that's coming out? You didn't mention it.
So Bound to the Fate of Kings.
That sounds like something that's right up my wife's alley.
Okay.
That's like I don't read. I can barely talk sometimes, but my wife's a huge reader, so I will definitely make her look into that. See if she's
Okay,
into it.
awesome.
Oh, I can pre-order it on Barnes and Noble. That's badass.
Yes.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And
Nice.
done.
Oh, awesome.
Well, there we go.
Thank you.
Incredible. Real quick, let's throw it back to the rest of us. The man who sang Shakira's Hips Don't Lie during karaoke so well that he was offered a record label. Richard Mattison, what are you drinking?
You're right. That fact wasn't made up. I am drinking a Blue Moon tonight. My old reliable over here.
Attaboy.
Yeah, you got to do it sometimes. Ben, what are you drinking over there?
Well, I've been on a little bit of a kick the last few days. Watched Black Adam this weekend, watched Hobbs and Shaw yesterday, and then jumped into Fast and Furious 7.
It's a
So
Bud
I
Light.
went with some Terramana Añejo. Love you, The Rock. Dwayne The Rock Johnson. So drinking a little tequila tonight. Drew Mullis, what are you drinking?
Oh my lord. I love you so much. I'm going with just my normal tequila and ginger beer. I have been house sitting, and so I just got back today after like 4 days of not being home. So that's what I had readily available. That wasn't really expensive. Who haven't we done? Travis?
Probably Travis, yeah.
Travis.
I'm drinking Terrapin's Los Bravos out of a gigantic stein
Good for you.
in honor of Oktoberfest.
Is that
And,
a Spottenstein?
I don't know.
Okay.
It's a giant mug, and there's 2 beers worth of beer in here. And the reason why I chose this beer is because I refuse to believe that the Braves have lost, and I think it's a myth that they have lost.
No.
That they've
No. No.
Painful.
Who are the Braves?
Mathematically eliminated.
You shut your mouth. Guys,
Jamie, are you in Atlanta or are you in a different area?
I'm up in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Oh, cool. Fun place.
Yeah.
she's a Braves fan by proxy.
Yes.
Guys, which myth is most likely to be true that doesn't make me drown myself in my sorrows?
That's gonna rule out
Go, Jamie,
rule
go,
out
Jamie.
mermaids.
Do it.
Well, question, like all myths or just urban myth, creation myths?
Whatever myth, we'll
Ooh.
let you. If it's like, no, that's clearly not a myth, we'll tell you. But if it's a well-known myth of any sort of origin, we'll probably give it to you.
The creation myth is a interesting take that
Yeah.
I didn't even think about.
This was hard for me going myth to conspiracy theory and trying to like disassociate the two. No, but they kept lining up again. But I did pinpoint one, and you know what? I'll use that as my lead-in if nobody else wants to go first.
Go for it.
So, because of all of the modern ones, and unfortunately the fact that when modern myths pop up, they keep getting debunked or scientific fact, whatever. So I went a little back in history, but I think the most likely one is that several thousand years ago, 2,000 years ago, aliens came, built the pyramids. And then that's not where it ends. They didn't leave, but they are still among us somewhere, or even possibly a part of us. That's my myth, and the fact that how the heck 2,000 years ago with minimal technology did we build that crap? I have no idea. I think we had some help. That's what I think is the most likely to be true. I'm not saying it is true, just the most likely that it's true.
Been watched History Channel all day before this topic.
Well,
Aliens.
So I have a theme for all three of our topics tonight. Just
Don't know
FYI.
how you have a topic or a theme for the third one because you don't know the animal list.
Oh, just
So-
wait.
Yeah, that's not that one's not gonna win. Jamie, which myth is most likely to be true?
I'm going with the urban myth, the serial killer with a hook for a hand. That's got to be true.
You just the generic. There's a serial killer who has a hook for a hand.
Oh yeah, that's totally
Okay.
had to have happened.
Yeah, I believe that. That's that. Yeah, that makes
I
sense.
would believe that.
I just feel like that makes it really hard to be a serial killer because you gotta have a lot of planning to do that ahead of time, and then you're down an entire hand.
You're down an entire hook.
Yeah, like
and
It gets stuck in the door. Like
Hook, line, and sinker.
Who created Captain Hook? Was that a Brothers Grimm thing, or maybe they
Captain
built
Hook
it off of a
really-
serial killer?
Captain Hook is the myth most likely to be true. I just added
Neverland.
that.
Neverland is.
I'll jump on that one.
absolutely second star to the right and straight on till morning.
That's right.
Absolutely exists.
That's right.
I'd like to change my answer.
Rick, Drew, what you guys got?
So myths most likely to be true, right? Need to be scientifically proven.
Mhm.
Agreed. So I appreciate the hook for the hand because if we're talking in actuality, I'm sure somewhere someone has actually done that. But do we really say that's a myth per se? I was really hoping Ben was going to go Stonehenge or even like Excalibur because I was telling him that today.
Stonehenge exists.
Well, yeah,
It exists.
exactly
But
why it's most
been
likely
there.
to
The
be
whole
true.
point behind it is how does it exist? I mean, to
So-
me, Stonehenge and pyramids is 1A, 1B. So
That's fair. But let's take into account that there's 1.7 million known species on the planet.
Mhm.
And biologists estimate that represents a quarter of the estimated species that are on the planet.
That are
All right.
currently on the planet or have been on the planet?
Whatever. You take your pick.
Sure.
Yes.
So we can also agree that species diversity is greatest in rainforest.
Yep.
All right. And then when you take into account that 75% of all species live in rainforest, all right, just straight facts. The argument could be that there is an apex predator primate between 6 and 10 feet tall, weighing up to 500 pounds, that is in a dense temperate rainforest. Bigfoot is real.
Okay. Solid.
No, I can go with that one.
Yeah. I can.
Yeah. The Uhari Forest isn't too far from us. So they've got Bigfoot sightings all the time.
All the time.
All the time.
Does that include the Yeti?
Wouldn't they be like cousins?
Well, I don't know.
Yes.
You were talking about species diversity and the denseness of the different species in the rainforest, where it's his cousin is in the Arctic, where there is no diversity. There's like 4 different types of animals.
So
Divergent evolution of
If
the
it-
same.
yeah,
Right, but
I'd be
is
willing
it-
to say
okay.
if
Large
Bigfoot
primate.
exists, I would they both. If one does, both do.
Okay, so
Kinda
now
thing.
I'm out. You lost me.
But what
I-
what is Bigfoot?
I
are you
specifically am talking about Bigfoot.
But
Not
what is
necessarily.
Bigfoot? Is Bigfoot another, species
Bigfoot is an
where
apex
there's
predator primate between 6
where
and
there's
10 feet tall, weighing up to 500 pounds.
and there's hundreds of them across the world, or is it just one that just travels really fast and jumps continent to continent?
Well, so as we can agree that apex predators live in smaller numbers, so I would say that it's probably not hundreds, but are you asking me, is there more than a Bigfoot? I would
Yes.
say yes, there are big feet out there.
Nice.
I like that.
I like
I
that.
like
Good
that.
job.
Well,
Now,
Rick,
exact numbers, who knows?
Rick, I'm glad you want something scientific, because I agree. I think there has to be some sort of science around potentially proving or debunking a myth. And I absolutely believe that the moon landing was filmed.
I don't.
You're not gonna win. You're sorry.
However, back
love
in
where
the
this is going.
60s,
Wait. Hold on. You said the moon landing was filmed,
Oh,
not faked.
Right.
well, it was
The moon landing
Now,
absolutely was
see,
filmed
yeah.
from a camera on the, moon.
Well, yeah, they shot it on location.
On the moon.
Yeah, they
That's-
were
love
trying to
that.
fake it, and they just went to the location of where it was and just shot it there instead. So it was faked. It's just on
Okay.
location.
They were really up the budget for that one.
So moon landing faked. Heard it here. Proof done.
Where are you about
Okay.
to take? Wait, was that it?
I don't know.
Was
Yeah,
that it?
the moon landing was faked. That's my myth. That's most likely to be true. That it was faked. It was just shot on location. Hollywood financed it.
Okay, wait. Start all the way over again now that I know where we're going.
Wait, what?
I need that story one more. I'm kidding. Don't
So
actually start all the way over.
Don't.
I will.
Oh, okay.
So what's the myth?
That
The
the
moon
moon the
landing
myth
was
is the moon
faked.
landing was faked. And that's
but they
most
shot it
likely
on location.
you loot. I want to burp right now.
I just want to smack you. I don't want no.
Okay, true.
I honestly, I thought there'd be a bigger fight for this, and Rick, I'm glad you jumped out there. Bigfoot has got to be
Nope.
it. I think we've talked about it before, but I'm really big into like conspiracy theories and aliens and cryptids, and alien like ghosts, that kind of thing. I absolutely love it, and out of everything that I've listened to and watched and seen, I truly believe that there's got to be some sort of giant ape upright creature out there that we just have not had cameras that can de-blur in time to catch it.
I'm going to take it one step further. The Rock is Bigfoot shaven, so he is a direct descendant.
It's all the steroids.
He's not tall enough, but I appreciate it. But he's not tall enough. So, I mean, I get the Bigfoot thing, but you keep saying ape, ape, ape. But the whole thing behind Bigfoot is that he's more human than ape. Like people see him as a human-like being or person that just maybe has some ape
A
quality.
primate apex predator. Yes.
Yeah, I'm using ape as a general term for a divergent from human evolution that is bipedal and follows the same like body structure, but at some point in the past went away from us and started hiding in the woods or the caves. Don't get me started on the caves.
Caves, man. Where they tried to shoot the moon landing.
Fucking caves, man. And has been able to conceal its presence well enough, like Rick said, maybe not huge numbers, but enough that they keep a population going. And are, they're, I mean, not necessarily like a civilization, but have some sort of group instinct that's above monkeys, apes, primates, whatever you want to call, that lower tier between that and, humans.
Let me ask
in
you
there,
this.
or even maybe above, depending on who you want to talk to, because they've been able to hide so well.
Do you think that this primate exists today or existed at any time?
Yes.
I think exists today.
Okay. I would have been able to get behind you on existed at any time. I don't think. I just feel like we would have.
We thought the big squid was a myth up until like the 1980s,
There is-
1990s.
Well, no, because like if they're solitary hunters the way that tigers are, because they don't live in family groups, it's much easier to hide.
That's right.
So
We find tigers all the time.
no, tigers find us. It
That
is
too.
the other way
Yeah.
around.
If you've
And that's
been
just
out
further
into...
proof cats are trying to kill us all. So if you have a cat,
Oh
Amen.
yeah, absolutely.
That myth I
And
believe.
birds are listening.
If you've been out into national forests and seen the actual scope of how large those patches of land are that we've cordoned off for that, and just take the world in general, like a lot of us are city kids, or we may have lived in the country.
Yep.
But once you get out into the absolute nothingness and nowhere where there's no human contact whatsoever, it's still real big.
Mhm.
And yeah, we've got satellite imaging, but we're not necessarily like focusing on that at the moment.
Looking at
I
UFOs.
don't think it's beyond the pale to even like think that there might be some sort of species that has continued on without us being able to capture them.
and just this may take a vote away from me, but if we're being real honest about life, in our
We've got
lifetime,
two right now, Rick.
I know, but if we're going with like myths likely to be true, I think in our lifetime we will find something and people assign it as Bigfoot, whether or not it necessarily meets, the myth buildup. I think at some point we'll be like, this is what people have seen all, like, you know what I mean?
But is that just like a larger species of ape, or is it like?
I don't know. We can reconvene once we find it, but right now I'm sticking to my 6 to 10 foot, up to 500 pounds apex primate predator.
I just think that if we're talking the jungle, right? I think something that large probably wouldn't be able to navigate the rainforest super well and would die off pretty quickly because all of its food sources could probably get away from it relatively easily.
I mean, tigers and leopards are pretty fucking big.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
they're
they're-
fast.
But if you're an apex predator, everything's your food source.
Well,
And then there's going to be some smaller cat that wants to fuck around and find out. And then that's about to be dinner.
And just because
Let's
they
see.
look like humans doesn't mean that they're musculoskeletal structure.
Jamie, you got to be rude
acts like
sometimes.
us.
Get in there, throw bows.
I mean,
just go.
maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. Go ahead, Jim.
Like when it comes to Bigfoot, like thinking that just because it's big is slow is a bad idea.
Mm.
Because you look
Get
at
him.
stuff like crocodiles and alligators and they get big
Bo
and they are
Jackson.
fast.
They can go
Like, when
40
they
miles
get
an
up,
hour.
they're fast. The same with hippos. You would
Hippos.
think a hippo would be
Hippos
slow.
are
That thing
Fastest
is gonna
land
kill you
animal.
just 'cause
Yeah.
you-
2
you're
miles an hour,
around.
yeah.
Most
Crazy.
dangerous of the big five.
Yeah.
They kill more people a year than a lot of other species.
Heck
Yeah. So just because something is big doesn't mean it can't move
Yeah.
quickly or be stealthy.
It would just be harder for it to be stealthy. Like it doesn't have at that size, at 7 feet, basically several 100 pounds, walking through a rainforest. It's going to be very difficult for it to keep up with a cat. It's going to be it's going to be have to be very
They're not hunting
opportunistic.
cats.
They're probably not hunting cats. They're probably going after sloths and like the smaller.
And doesn't have to be just a
Berries.
carnivore. Could
Maybe
be an
they're
omnivore.
vegetarians.
Ooh.
Maybe they're
At that
one
size,
step
I guess.
back.
Bigfoot is a vegan.
Maybe
Plot twist.
maybe they're one step back in the evolutionary
No, I don't like that.
chain, and then we were next, and they evolved to be a little bit smaller, so we could fit in smaller spaces. So maybe they're just one step back from us. Maybe, and that's why they're slowly dying off. We're seeing less and less
Well, we haven't
because
seen any,
we are
so-
the next. Yeah, agreed.
And I'm holding back. I'm holding back a little bit because if you want to go to the conspiracy theories where there are interdimensional travelers that have like little pocket universes inside of the forests, we can go there too. I have
that seems
research on
more,
that.
I'm more.
It's a little further down the
inclined-
line.
I would believe that more than Bigfoot.
I'm still going back to we didn't have the technology to build the pyramids, so there's aliens among us. But but Drew made an interesting point earlier, and I like this. And you said you didn't want to get into caves, but there is still so much area around the world that we haven't figured out. I mean, we're like 4 hours away from one of the biggest cave systems in the world, and it hasn't even been fully
The biggest.
The biggest, thank
by
you.
far.
And it hasn't
400
even been,
miles, and
Yeah.
we're discovering 10 miles a year every year for
Exactly.
the last many years.
Like,
Drew
yeah,
knows
trust
more
me.
about this cave than I was ready
do.
for.
No. So do I. Sorry,
What-
the biggest.
What are we talking about? What cave are we talking
Mammoth
about?
Cave in Kentucky.
Mammoth in
Alright.
Kentucky.
Yeah. So and it's somewhere I've been once. My wife's been like 6 times, but yeah, it's still being discovered, and so I get it. Maybe there
Yeah,
are.
if you want to go
areas-
Hollow Earth series,
Yeah.
like theory.
God.
Rick, I'm
let's
trying to
fucking-
add to your
let's
argument
fucking
here. So.
Podcast derailed. We are now going down the conspiracy rabbit hole. The
When does
rest
this
of the
podcast
night.
not derail?
This is what I listen to when I'm the podcast that I listen to when I'm driving 10 hours a day.
I don't think you guys could say anything to actually convince me of Bigfoot, but
You can't. Honestly, me either. I'm not going to go. I can't.
But
go
your answer was trash, Travis. So we
Right,
need to pick
of-
one.
You can say
mine's
that you
the
don't believe in
only one that
Bigfoot.
actually happened, but therefore it is the
That's
most
not the
likely to
point
be
of
true.
the
That's not the
topic.
point.
It is the most likely to be true because it did happen.
That's
Therefore,
like saying-
I win. I
No,
fit
no.
the criteria.
don't like your logic.
That's awful. I hate that.
Therefore, I win. It's plain and
How-
simple. You guys have all this tertiary
How
evidence and
you
like
win?
You were
Because
trying
we
to say that the moon
them-
landing was faked.
Yeah.
That is the key word.
Yeah.
It was not.
it was faked while filming on location.
No, that's terrible. It's a trash argument.
It's the only one that makes the most sense. So
No,
All right.
how?
So I'm going to take a camp, and I'm going to say that the serial killer with the hook was based off of Captain Hook, and that's where they got the idea.
No,
that
it's gotta
is-
be Jack the Ripper.
Oh, is that prior to Captain Hook? I don't know. Peter Pan goes back a long way.
I think they were around the same time.
Maybe Jack the Ripper got it from Captain Hook.
Peter Pan was a little bit later, but
Jack the Ripper actually married Hannah the Hooker, and that is where Captain Hook descends from. It's a little known fact.
I
I
really
don't.
want
I
that to
don't
be
believe
fake,
you.
but I think that's
totally fake.
all right. So I guess I don't. Jamie, are you wanting to leave for either the moon landing or the pyramids? Or are you sticking with Jack the Ripper and or
don't
Bigfoot?
put your moon landing in there.
It's in there. It's an option.
Not in there. No,
No,
one's voting
we
for your moon landing.
vetoed.
I'm
that
still
as an
voting
option.
for the
If we're
best
le-
option.
I think we're leaving Twitter up to decision, if that's what I'm
Well,
hearing.
no, we have 2 right now. So unless Jamie Ben and I are not leaving. Unless Jamie wants to leave camp, it's Bigfoot.
Yeah, no, Bigfoot.
Okay. Not mad about it.
Congratulations.
I'm not mad
We'll
about
take
it. I just think
You're not mad, you're just disappointed.
Nice.
no, I'm not even disappointed. My backup though was something that I've actually seen happen in real time, and like I'm the evidence for it. It was like 15 years ago or so when the internet was still kind of like new and no one knew what the cloud was. I got this random email that said if you forward this to 5 people within the next 24 hours, you'll have a really long and healthy, happy life. And I forwarded it, and wouldn't you know it? So far, so good. Thank goodness I forwarded.
I don't
that
think we
email.
have. I don't think we have enough evidence Let's talk in 30 years, Travis.
Yeah.
It's done. It's done. That was a really good. I'm so glad I forwarded that email. When I was forwarding that email chain, I didn't have 5 people to forward it to, so I had to make
Stop.
up a fictional character to forward.
I hate you.
So you forwarded it to a fictional president?
Yeah, I sure did. Guys, next topic. Which fictional character would make the best president? And I want to throw a name out there. So it's a newly fictional character within like the last year or so. At first, wasn't sold. Thought too basic, didn't really know what they were doing. But over the course of me getting to know and understand this character, I think we all could agree that Lukewarm the Fifth would make
My God.
the best president. Not
Who is that?
Jamie needs
I
context.
need context.
Rick,
we
I love
had
it.
an entire
Travis,
episode.
pause.
That's fine. I don't know.
Rick,
We had an entire episode. I'll put in the episode name here, where we all campaigned to be the president of the podcast, and Rick's character was named Lukewarm the Fifth from Why Not
North Carolina.
North Carolina.
That's right.
And we eventually elected him to be the president of the podcast, and that was just like 6 months ago. So
Why
Okay, so
not?
he already has some
2024.
experience.
Yeah, 24.
yeah, he's got experience. He knows what he's doing. Like, perfect candidate is Lukewarm the Fifth.
Sold. Why not? 2023.
I just need one vote. That's all I need.
But no, you see, Travis, as much as I on a personal level respect that pick, Lukewarm wants the presidency.
Okay.
And a good leader is someone who replies to that position
Does he,
with
though?
all my heart, no. And that's why it must be them.
Okay.
Now, this president, his name is Maximus Decimus Meridius, commanders of the armies of the North, general of the Felix legions, loyal servant to the true emperor Marcus Aurelius, father to a murdered son, husband to a murdered wife, and he will have his vengeance in this life or the next. And he would make the best fictional character as president.
I think there's got to be a character limit on your name somewhere in the Constitution. That's way too long.
That was not established.
You're right.
First of all,
Although, I will
Lukewarm
say-
the Fifth.
Not an American citizen, Rick, so he's kind of out.
He's
He
out.
was born on a military base, and therefore that is part of
And
American
I
soil.
did, I
I know,
did
I know, I know,
specifically
I know.
just say president. Didn't say U.S. president. Jamie, fictional character.
Aragorn.
Okay.
Ooh.
But why? We know
Well,
why, but
he's-
why?
He's obviously already got experience with dealing with politics, and he's just a natural born leader. And he's a pretty good guy because, he saved those hobbits.
And he's hot.
He broke his toe that one time.
He did break his toe.
you know, I was thinking Gandalf, and I would actually change my answer to Aragorn. That makes sense.
And to Rick's point, he doesn't want
True.
the throne. He didn't
doesn't.
want it.
Exactly.
He accepted it because it was like, yeah, I guess I kind of have to at this point.
He was given a diamond.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I like that answer. It's a good one.
Okay, well, I'll keep on with the theme of somebody in fiction that tends to humble themselves a lot, but is still a extreme badass. And I was thinking of, someone who protects humans, someone who can, shoot down nukes. So I went Optimus Prime, and here's why. Optimus shows that he actually cares more about humans than fucking humans do on a regular basis.
Sounds like a bad president.
Makes it a point. B, somebody shoots a missile or a nuke at us, and he doesn't have to wait for the football or launch codes. He can just stick up his arm and shoot it. Great. And 3, aliens show up, and they say, "Take me to your leader." You take them to see Optimus Prime, they're gonna be like, "I'm fucking out of here. No fucking way am I dealing with this guy." Optimus Prime needs to be our president.
I have an issue, and that is it was brought up, I think, in the first movie that was in the series, in the Megan Fox series.
The
Shia LaBeouf.
documentary.
The documentary, thank you. That basically, now that the Decepticons know where the Autobots are, they're coming, right? If Optimus Prime is made the leader, the president, it's gonna present some challenge. People are going to try to challenge him for supremacy from other worlds and that's bringing aliens, that's bringing technology we're not ready for. And I don't
So I'm so glad you brought up this point. So while yes, that was a small part that they were coming to the Autobots, the idea was the fact that thousands of years ago, both sides visited Earth, left different things like relics and other things, and that's what everyone's coming for. They're not coming for Prime. They're not coming for the Autobots. Prime's just here to help defend. The Decepticons are coming for all these different things that the Earth has to offer. Has nothing to do with
you're
the
thinking
Autobots.
You're thinking too small, right? I'm going into the MCU where now that Earth has these powers and is looked upon as a global power, or not a global power, a universal power.
Sure.
It's gonna bring other aliens, not just the Decepticons, and we're just gonna end
Agreed.
up in
That was my third point. Aliens
Transformers part of
come.
the MCU?
No, I'm just saying the concept was brought forth in the MCU about how, oh, look, we have superheroes now. That's going to bring on challengers.
Yeah.
Same thing's going to happen with any overpowered president. Other worldly beings are going to come and try to take us out.
Agreed. I agree. And that was my third point. And no offense to Aragorn and plenty of offense to Lukewarm V, but
Lukewarm the Fifth is a brilliant military.
Any
commander.
aliens that show
Right.
up, I think they're going to be more scared of Optimus Prime as opposed to those other ones.
Nay, they will feel threatened and challenged, whereas
Yes.
Lukewarm the Fifth and Aragorn and also Maximus would be peaceful, and they feel like they would need to overlook and they could move on, successfully defending the planet instead of bringing it into a full-on altercation.
Because that happens more often, and you know,
That's why aliens haven't visited today.
If you've seen the documentary South Park where they lie about how they find warp speed, we have been sectioned off from the rest of the universe. And we're not allowed to interact with the aliens. So thus being safe, not needing a defender like Optimus Prime.
Rick, I'm actually a little surprised that you didn't wait. You haven't picked yet, have you? Because I thought, oh, okay.
Maximus Aurelius.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Sorry, I'm surprised you didn't go with something like Eric Cartman. I'm just saying. But
first of all, Eric Cartman would be a terrible president. If you were asking me the Supreme Court, then yes, I would have picked Eric Cartman. But true. Round us out.
Speaking of aliens.
Oh my God.
Damn it.
Luke Skywalker.
Jean-Luc Picard.
Okay.
Okay.
We're okay with that one.
And we can do maybe a bonus episode of me doing the speech again for President Whitmore. But he's a admiral of a fleet of ships that go across the galaxy. He's known for his politics. He's known for majority of the time being a pacifist. But when the going gets tough, he's willing to do what it takes. He's been on the other side. He's been Borged. He's come back. He knows the politics of interplanetary dealings and is a very, even still, unassuming man who, much like Aragorn, doesn't really want to take up the mantle of power. He really just wants to retire to his vineyard and do his thing and be the guy who's just out of all of it. But when the going gets tough and he's called upon, he will show up and be the admiral, the captain, the leader that he needs to be to bring us out of the darkness.
And in another life, he can control people's minds in the MCU. So
that's true.
I almost put him as just any character. any character that Patrick Stewart would play.
Yeah.
Honestly,
I like that,
because
yeah.
it's really just those two and like a bunch of like stage plays that he's done.
The Stewart verse, yeah, that'd be a good president.
Because him as Professor X would also make a great president, in my opinion.
Is anyone willing to leave their camp?
Absolutely not.
Can I get a refresher?
We've got. I didn't write them all down.
I mean,
I got
lukewarm.
him.
We've got lukewarm. We've got Maximus. We've got Aragorn. We've got Optimus Prime, and we've got John Luke Picard. I did it.
Proud of
See,
you.
look, proud of you.
I have a backup that I want to try to get maybe Ben and Rick to go in on, but
Anything's
Unlike-
better than lukewarm the fifth. No offense, Rick.
that's not true.
All the offense taken, and it's okay. You're better. You lost once. I understand. You don't want to lose again to him.
That's fair.
Second term.
That's right.
Bitter.
Ben, you're familiar with this character, and Rick, you're familiar with this character. Drew, I'm not so much. Jamie, if you are, that'd be fantastic. But you guys mentioned not wanting the presidency, but also the presidents are going to end up hurting cats, getting people to do stuff. They're going to be making decisions. They're going to be telling people what they need to do and what they should do, in spite of them losing everything. And one of the most difficult jobs, as Ben knows, is being the commissioner of a fantasy football league. So I think Kevin MacArthur from the league.
You don't think I know who Kevin MacArthur is?
I don't know if you've watched the league.
I've watched it probably more than all of you.
Well, then
I don't know about that, but
Give me Kevin MacArthur, the commissioner of the league, as my president. Most he would be the best. He has the experience of dealing with just assholes and dumb people and hurting cats, and puts together the league every year in spite of all the shenanigans. Comes up
in a
with
brilliant legal mind. Like, let's just
brilliant league.
brilliance of legal minds. This man could do no more than 10 years.
Give me Kevin
first round
MacArthur.
picks.
I think would be make the best. He wouldn't really know what he's doing at first, which I think would make a great president.
He did set his crotch on fire that one time.
I mean, who has it? Let's be real.
I would rather take Forrest Gump over Kevin MacArthur, but that's just me.
I don't know what that means.
Your words are hurtful and offensive.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I will
He's met 3 presidents. He's kind of got that face-to-face interaction thing going for him.
I will say Kevin MacArthur has a certain appeal to him for many of the past presidents in the last 30-ish years.
Yeah. He
that
would
I
be better
feel
than
like
all of
kind
them.
of appeals. Yeah, kind of appeals to it.
And great.
He's
first
that
lady.
guy you want. He's kind of a Bush to me. Like, he's that guy you want to have a beer with, and also maybe talk some politics.
I feel like you'd want to sit and have a beer with Aragorn too, because he's
Yeah,
not
in a
like full of
tavern.
himself.
Literally,
Ale.
first scene that you're introduced to him is him sitting and having a beer. So absolutely.
By himself. You know. Oh,
Yeah, and I just want to sit down and keep him company for a minute.
He doesn't
Strider
wanna
back then.
He doesn't
so.
want to. He doesn't want to talk to you.
You don't know that.
I
You don't
do.
know his life.
I do. I talk.
I mean, we do know his life, but you know what I mean.
All right.
I
Anyone?
appreciate the appeal to my
shot.
heart and soul,
My shot.
Travis there. But if I'm being, I think linguistically, Aragorn, I will switch camps for Aragorn, showing the ability to learn multiple languages and command the language, thus enhancing his political figure.
That's a good point, Rick. And being able to command multiple lands, like, you know, making allies, not to mention be able to command the dead, which is
Yeah.
can be pretty helpful.
And he
Forgot
actually
about that.
keeps his
And it makes me-
promises, because he had the opportunity. He could have refused to release them from their bonds and keep them fighting, and instead he let them go, even though it would have put him at a disadvantage.
It makes me mad because I don't want Aragorn to win, if I'm being real honest about life. But like, of those presented, I'm okay with it.
I hate to offer more evidence, but he's also one of those race of men who live longer than others. So he could do his 2 terms, take a little break,
Ooh,
come
everyone would
back.
forget. Yes.
Yeah, everyone, like, nobody even remembers that he was president. Comes back, runs another 2 terms.
I don't know if that's how it would actually work, but I appreciate.
I don't either. Within the rules of the presidency, but if we're talking rules, he's also not an American citizen. So
We didn't say U.S. president. We just said president.
I'm just going off
Ooh.
of basic U.S. presidency.
Ooh.
Could be the president of the PTA. You don't know.
That
It just
is
said
an
president.
interesting.
I would love to see Aragorn as the president of like a preschool PTA.
My God.
I would watch that show.
Right.
Yeah.
Aragorn just swinging his blade.
All right.
I mean,
everyone
the
good?
actor that played Aragorn is an American. Is that close enough?
Yes.
I'll
I
take
think
it.
that counts.
I'll take it.
Yes.
He was born on a military base. It's U.S. soil.
Does anyone know the name of Aragorn's horse?
God, if it's tier, I'm gonna throw my beer at you.
I want to put it into the tier list so we can rate it. People, friends, gather around. Everyone paying attention? Good. I want to thank Jamie Jackson for coming on this evening, hanging out with us, and just having a good time. It was a pleasure having her. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention her book coming out October 31st, Bound to the Fate of Kings. You can go ahead, if you're listening to this podcast, you can get it on pre-order on Barnes & Noble or Amazon. And if you're listening after this podcast comes out, say maybe November 1st, you can just go buy it there. And you can go get it and you can read it. Go read her book. Do it. Because I said so. Okay, thanks. Guys, we ready? We ready? I'm good. Rick's ready. Team, people, we're gonna put some famous animals into a tier list. There's a lot of animals out there that have been in media throughout the years, and I thought it might be a little too difficult to rank them, maybe like 1 through 10, or who's the worst, who's the best. So I figured maybe we start off with doing a tier list, and then we can revisit this and rank them based off of their tier. What our listeners are not seeing right now is I do have a tier list up on my screen that everyone can see. It will be published on social media somewhere at some point when we're done with it. But I do want to reiterate with these tier lists, S is the best, super, best, awesome, should be reserved as such, right? If you think there's doubt that they might not be an S tier, probably not an S tier. Same thing with F tier at the bottom. If there's some sort of redeeming quality, probably not an F tier. Put them in C. I just did S, A, B, C, F. I know that doesn't make a whole lot of sense in terms of the alphabet, but that's how a lot of tier lists go. Maybe they include the D tier, maybe an E. I just thought 5 would be good enough. So I'm going to go a slide down, show everyone an animal that has been famous either in TV, film, social media, perhaps. And then we're going to talk about what tier they belong in. Everyone ready? Everyone good? Yeah.
So ready. So
yeah.
good.
Okay.
Hope,
First
hope
one.
Charlie the Unicorn pops up.
He's not on there, unfortunately. Oh yeah, that was the other thing. Let me backtrack. This is not a complete list. There will be animals that are left off. There's hundreds of them. We don't have time to do hundreds of them. So there might be animals that belong in S tier that we didn't mention. That's fine. We're just talking about the ones.
There's about 1.7 million known species.
And Bigfoot is also not on this
Definitely
list.
one of them.
Definitely not.
If that's not an S tier, I don't know what is.
Definitely an F tier.
Loch Ness Monster S tier.
if there was a NA tier, that would be a good one.
Nice.
All right. First animal. I'm hoping this will be the first two will be kind of softballs. We'll all generally agree on the first two, and then we'll kind of get into the groove. First animal, Hobbs, the tiger, lovable tiger. Where does he fit? What kind?
I don't know what to do with him as the first one.
Yeah.
I wish. Oh my god.
I put him right in the middle just because it was okay. It didn't change my life. So
You think he's B tier?
I
it
gotta
didn't
go
change-
C. I gotta go C tier for Hobbs.
I'm okay with that too.
I'm gonna go F tier
Ooh. Wow.
because not an actual animal.
No.
He is
Well,
no. He is a stuffed toy,
no. For the purposes of this
He's a
conversation, he's
tiger.
an
An
imaginary
He's a-
friend to a boy who has some serious mental issues.
all cartoons are
I
imaginary.
respect that avenue, but
Thoroughly disagree.
respect the rules, sir, and rules. Respect the spirit of the game, and I'm gonna go C tier.
I'll go C tier then, if we're gonna respect.
See,
the rules.
I'm B tier. Like those comics.
Okay.
No,
Wait. If I'm
tier.
gonna,
Not knowing what's coming next makes this
Thanks,
so
Jamie.
hard. I wish he wasn't the first one.
You don't
That's-
need to
that's
know
the idea.
necessarily know what's next.
if I'm gonna
That's why I'm going
revise
C. I can't go
based
higher.
on the spirit of the law, I'm gonna go C tier mostly because I wanted more. Like I wanted like a cartoon. Like I know it was a comic, but I wanted more backstory
Okay.
There we go.
for
All right,
Calvin. I wanted actual content because he was always just sort of, either the comic relief or the trope of it. It wasn't. He was always a very, very, very side character that existed in that world.
I like it. That was well thought out.
Jamie, you were saying A.
I have a lot of nostalgia attached to Hobbs.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, like, come on. He tackled Calvin. Sometimes he had some wise things to say. Sometimes.
I think
And he was loyal.
he was the most loyal for sure. I will say, as we go through this, if we need to move him up, we can move him up. We'll stick him at C for now. I think that
D with the potential to B.
Yeah, I was teetering between A and B. I went B because I only discovered Calvin and Hobbes later in my childhood. I wish I had known him earlier, so I had that full breadth of, but I was already had fallen into whatever I was interested in, so I didn't get that full experience. So, well, C's okay. We'll if again the early ones, if we need to revisit, we'll revisit. This next one should be a slam dunk. Everyone should agree on this one. Next one was Scrappy Doo.
Oh, that's an F.
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 That's an F.
No doubt. FT.
Yeah,
Is
not
there
an F
less-
for not an F for
Is there
me.
less than an F? He is a negative
Negative F.
Ghost Rider for me.
So I don't think he's an F, but I'll just clearly outnumbered, so I'm just gonna go sit on my
He was created to
Hold
try and
stool.
save the franchise from destruction and ended up just being a megalomaniacal.
Yeah, like you can't
obnoxious
take
character.
the opposite of I'm blanking on the dog. Scooby. Thank you.
Scooby.
You can't take the like opposite character of Scooby and make him smaller. Yeah.
No.
I wasn't sold at F originally, but when you put it that way, Drew, I'm on board.
Next animal, Garfield.
Garfield pissed me off. I'm sorry, but he was annoying to me. And the fun thing is he was actually more annoying to me than Scrappy was. So Garfield is an F for me. I found him very annoying.
I put Garfield on an A tier.
Ooh.
My reasoning is love the comics growing up. And then we got into the realm of the comics where they like removed Garfield and it was just John talking to himself, like Garfield didn't actually exist. And then there's the universe where Garfield's like a monster.
Oh,
that
yes.
is
I'm sorry,
just
John.
Constantly, I'm sorry, John. On Reddit, if you guys want to look it up, it's really depressing and creative. But yeah, I think I liked him more as like a daily cartoon in the paper than Calvin and Hobbes.
Drew, so what was your final vote? Were you B or A?
Actually, I'll go B just because it didn't have that much of an influence on me.
I would vote A, but I'm not going to go down. I'm not going to down the hill for it.
I'm a C on Garfield.
Oh, sounds like a B to me.
You know,
So
I go ahead, Ben.
well, so I'm an F, and granted, I have a dog. I've had a dog for 9 years, but I was always more of a cat person, and Garfield kind of pissed me off as a cat person. I did not like him and what he did on a regular basis. So again, he's an F for me.
Eating
Wait,
lasagna.
what?
No, he was a pain in the ass.
So
He was
we're
a pain in the
cats.
ass.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're a dog
cat
person.
motif.
he wasn't a pain in the ass in a cute way, like most cats are.
Yeah.
No,
Mm,
Most cats, you can tell they're plotting to kill you.
literally,
But they
it's
do it
scientifically
cutely.
proven.
For
Can
someone
we
who
just
al-
say most animals on most cats on here shouldn't be above a B tier?
I will settle on a C.
Shouldn't
but
be?
I
Is
if,
that what you
if he
said?
goes above a C,
Gonna
then
try
I'm
to
going to
kill
be
you.
angry. So
B sounds like the best average for Garfield to me.
I think B is good for it
you
I'm
have
struggling
you have a
between
C
B
and
and
an
C.
F.
at the
Well,
moment.
I'm struggling
That's-
but I'm struggling between B and C.
Yeah, so
I'm gonna go B. I'm gonna go B. I think B's fine. That's average. He's average. He's nothing special. He's average. I think that's fine.
terrible.
Next animal is Bugs Bunny.
I mean, creme de la creme.
I think he's
You talk
S-
about
S tier.
nostalgia. I mean,
You think
he's an S tier.
S tier animal.
Like literally childhood moving into middle school, moving into high school.
See, I was gonna go A. I think he's got the comedic chops. He's got the staying power. He's got the brand identity. He's got a lot of really good things. I can't go S. He's a little annoying.
He
Like-
brings sarcasm. He brings sarcasm into your life before you even know what sarcasm is. Like,
But
and-
did I agree with what you're saying, Ben, and I'm working through this. But did your enjoyment of Bugs Bunny change based off the character Bugs Bunny was interacting with? For example, like, did you like him better if he was with Yosemite Sam versus somebody else? Like
Elmer Fudd,
Daffy
yeah,
Duck.
Elmer
Daffy
Fudd or
Duck.
Foghorn Leghorn. And if
or Michael Jordan.
Martian.
yeah, you get the idea.
A documentary.
And if the answer to that question is yes,
It's a no.
no, that's for, I get it.
Yeah.
But for the rest of the panel, if the answer to that question is yes, I don't think I can go S tier. If I understand, if your answer is no, then that would qualify S tier. Because to me, I will say this: Bugs Bunny didn't make up for Elmer Fudd to me, and I did not. I skipped those episodes.
Well, I would agree with you. The fact that Elmer Fudd was just a crappy character. I mean, he's boring as hell. So,
I'm kind of
Didn't
with
help.
Rick on this.
Did you get
where
where I'm trying to take that?
but in my mind, Bugs Bunny
That's fair. If
was
that's
always
your answer, but
was always the A or the S, according to this. Depending, it didn't matter. Like somebody, like if he was going against Yosemite Sam, it made it more fun. If he was going against Tasmanian Devil, it made it more fun. Elmer Fudd was less fun because nobody liked Elmer Fudd, but Bugs Bunny still brought it home, regardless of who he was with. So, in my mind,
Jamie, Bugs Bunny thoughts?
I'm having a hard time picking between S and A.
And that's the argument right there.
Yeah.
It's A, right?
Mhm.
If you're not sure, if there's just a little bit of doubt, S should be reserved for like no
I'd-
doubt 100%.
Oh, it's
I
really
hate
it's a
not
really
knowing the
hard one.
pool.
It's like
Because-
I love
But we can
watching-
change them later, Rick.
Can
Once
we
know
do
the
that? Can we
pool,
get like a
We'll-
bump,
we'll-
like a one bump?
We'll do a once over after.
Yeah.
I think maybe.
Okay,
Let's
all
stick
right.
them at A.
Then A, yeah.
Okay.
highlight him in yellow or something.
I'm not doing that.
He's
We'll
moving
be
on
able
up.
to tell. All right. Next animal. Grumpy Cat. The meme.
I hate you.
That's an A for me.
Oh, I was going
A.
F.
Rick, I'm with you. F.
I knew this would be contentious. I knew.
So fucking stupid.
All right. So I think I heard 2 A's and 2 F's.
Yeah.
So a B
Awesome.
minus.
So
I
B
guess
minus.
I
B,
get,
B minus is a C.
I'm gonna go I'm gonna go B. Well, I think we stick him at B, because I just think he's a staple. He's an icon.
No,
He is. He
He is
absolutely
pop
is.
culture.
for
Like-
like 30 seconds.
Literally.
No,
The
people
fact that
still
we're
use him.
saying he is the same level of Garfield is despicable to everything in society.
I think that
I find
I don't
it
even-
despicable that Hobbs is under.
Yeah, that's I don't like
Garfield.
that.
I don't
That's
even like
because-
Garfield.
Lower than
I don't love
Garfield.
that
It's
either.
because
That's
you're
despicable.
an author. We understand.
we can go ahead and move Hobbs up to B if we really want to.
All right, we can switch Hobbs and Garfield. I'm fine with that.
No,
Or
we can
Hobbs
switch
and Grumpy
Hobbs
Cat.
No.
Grumpy Cat.
I'm,
No.
I'm good with that too.
No.
Actually, Rick. Yeah, I'm good with that too.
Hobbs
We'll
and
come
Grumpy
back.
Cat.
We'll-
I'll make that switch right
We'll
now.
come back.
I
We'll
think
come back.
B tier is a level of
Average.
visibility where everyone knows exactly why this is important,
Except
but
nobody-
didn't necessarily have a
Okay.
huge impact on.
If you're putting
It's
it that way.
average. B is
B,
average.
B is straight
Okay.
average.
But
Alright,
Hobbs
average.
hit people all the way up to the age of what, 60, 70, 80?
Yeah,
We'll
which
come
is,
back.
Which is
Grumpy
why
Cat
I'm,
didn't hit
Stop
anybody
it.
over the
Which is
age
why
of
I'm-
35.
We'll come back. We'll come
I'm
back.
reconsidering Hobbs.
No.
So
Hobbs
come
should
back.
go lower. I'm gonna destroy the podcast. Scrappy and Hobbs should flip.
Next animal, Sunny, who is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
F.
F.
Yeah.
Really? I'm not saying F, but if you guys all say F, I was gonna say D, but
Just not.
Well,
He-
just, I honestly,
Well,
I mean,
D's
it's-
not an option. So
sorry,
Well, so Travis, if you're going for like tropes, and so I'm kind of thinking of these, since we can't do all of them, they're kind of representing their brand and like their
Yeah,
I love Cocoa Puffs.
yeah, but
no, just like their
I know.
their genre. If you had said Tony the Tiger,
yes.
Which is why
maybe
I
like an
didn't.
A.
we may be in the B or A realm.
I like
Sunny
I
is
like a
just-
little chaos, and that's why I like Sunny. I actually would like. I would probably say B, but if everyone
or
says
like
F, I'll
Toucan Sam.
Yeah.
Like there's so many other
Yeah.
I don't follow.
you're gonna need to put him in. You need to put him in an
Cartoon-
F, Travis.
Yeah.
animals.
Okay,
Yeah, you
okay,
got to put
yeah,
them in
okay.
F.
Okay.
If we're going with Sunny,
There's a lot, so I'm not doing representation of all cereal. So it's the individual character. Lassie, good
Hey,
old dog.
Oh, come on, man! You can't hate on Lassie. Fuck you if you do.
Is it A or S? Are you saying
it's a B.
Hey.
Yeah. B.
Fuck you,
it's a B.
bees.
B.
Okay, cat person.
What? Lassie's not dog or cat person. Lassie's just Lassie.
Tell me
Lassie's going
one-
around and letting people know that Timmy fell in the well.
Tell me the
Yes.
tell me the
Tell me
plot
what
to
cat
one
would do that.
episode.
Batman
Tell
should
me
have
the
stayed
plot
in the
to
well.
one episode of Lassie that you know of that did
Thank you,
not
Travis.
involve Timmy falling in a well.
At least an A.
The
I would
barn
go.
was on
I
fire.
would go
At least an
S, but at least an A.
No.
I'm settled on A.
An S? Are you effing kidding me?
Not
It's
S.
Lassie.
I'll
like-
leave this. I'll leave
It's
this.
like
I'll
saying
leave it
fucking
right now.
Bambi doesn't
B.
belong in an S.
Well,
And-
I'm
if
gonna
we
hurt
get-
your feelings, Bambi.
Yeah.
Get Lassie the fuck out of here.
If Bambi pops up and you don't all say S, you're fucking terrorists. You're terrible people.
If Chance or Shadow doesn't
Bambi's
make it onto
mom was
this, I'm going to
delicious.
fucking rage, Travis.
I don't think they did.
If they do not make it on this and Lassie gets an A, I quit.
Again, that's not saying Chance or Shadow aren't A. This is just saying that Lassie's an A. You said B.
No, Lassie
Rick
is
said
not an A.
Yeah,
B.
I
You said
agree.
B. Rick said B.
B or C, which is it's a B minus.
Jamie said A. Ben said
Yeah.
A. I said A.
Ben said S.
Get Lassie the fuck
Yeah.
out of here.
It-
I think it's,
It averaged correctly, but it still angers
Yeah.
me.
yes. I agree. Above average. Not S, not perfect, not great, not the
No, it averaged out where it should be.
Yeah. Yes, I agree. Hedwig. Harry Potter's owl.
Well, he shits a lot. Other than that,
It makes
It's
me
an
mad,
A.
but it has to be an
It's-
S, right?
It's an
Yeah.
A for me.
Because it doesn't do anything wrong, so it's got to be above average.
he keeps him connected.
She dies to protect him.
I'm so confused by our grading criteria.
He should probably be an S. Honestly,
Literally
does everything right to Harry. Like literally does everything right
Yeah.
to the human.
Yeah. Could be
Can
S.
Can I do a serious take from
Yeah.
like
Yes.
a literary standpoint?
Go for it.
He's Harry's connection to the wizarding world when he's not at Hogwarts, when he's stuck at his aunt and uncle's house. He's the only thing really between the first and fifth-ish books that really grounds him in the wizarding world as a magical person or creature, anything that is alive and he can constantly just have a connection to, that reminds him of the fact that he's not just fucking nuts or crazy or dreaming or whatever. Hedwig has a very special place in those books, and his death in the books is a very huge symbol of his breaking of that connection between his life as a
For people like me who haven't read it yet.
human or muggle. Yes, you have, Rick.
I know. I'm just
10 years later.
Yeah,
I
20
know
years later.
if you hadn't 20 years later. His death in the books is a very huge symbol of his final disconnection between his life as a closeted person in the human world and his final, like, just only being a wizard type of thing. So Hedwig's got a very special place in my heart.
He should be an S.
Yeah, S.
I will put him as an S.
Okay. And I think I heard Rick mention
Her.
S.
Sorry.
So S it is. Okay. We have our first S tier. Next animal is Winnie the Poop.
So mentally unprepared for the way this was going to go.
I don't know why I put poop.
This is not that this is
Probably
not
had
what I
something
was
on my
thought we
mind.
were doing. Yeah, I thought we were doing like Harambe and stuff like that. But all right.
Well, I said animal. Originally, it was animals and media.
You did.
So,
That's
yeah.
correct. You did.
and
so
media
we're not-
is such a broad term. I get it. Yeah.
So Winnie the Pooh.
Give me C.
Yeah.
B.
B is fine.
B is fine.
He's a mid tier.
Yeah.
I'd be okay with B.
He wasn't even my favorite character in the Winnie the Pooh series. Like, that's the problem.
Interesting picture that you went with for the Winnie the Pooh one.
Bro, it was literally just like, let me just grab
Bro.
stuff off.
Hey, I mean, I get it. I
come on,
ain't
bro.
mad. You put effort into it. I appreciate it. I'm just saying.
Oh man.
Travis, I didn't get your vote. I see you're putting him at B, but I
That's
didn't
just-
get your.
I'm
actual
just
vote.
I'm not a big Pooh fan.
I know the averages are not going to work out in my favor, but he's an A for me.
So I'm kind of a C. Don't really
Ooh,
like the
A for
character.
you, Drew.
So I think B's fine.
Yeah.
I think he's got enough staying power. He's got enough longevity. B's fine. I think that's
The 100-Acre Woods and just the story behind him is really good.
Okay.
the only thing I would make him for me to make him go to B is the new horror film that's out about him.
It's
Makes him a B.
so bad.
I'm sure it is, and I need to watch it.
I've seen it. It's real bad.
All right. Next animal, Puss in Boots. Another cat. And I'm talking the animal, not the person who plays him.
Not Antonio Banderas.
Right. If it was Antonio Banderas, it'd be S tier. If it's just
Mhm.
Puss in Boots.
He's a C for me.
Yeah, I think C
Yeah,
is probably
he's kind of
yeah,
annoying.
he's kind of annoying.
The original, like, fairy tale behind him, which I can't remember if I think it's Grimm's, is really, really good, but I don't think he's really ever been portrayed well in media.
No.
I would throw out F.
I'm not quite
I'm,
at F.
I'm actually okay.
I don't
with that.
I don't
Okay with
actively
that.
dislike him, so I can't put F.
That's
but
fair.
C's good. C's
I'm
good
okay
enough.
with C. I just
below average.
to
Yeah.
officially
No,
cast my
wouldn't.
vote.
I would never put him as B.
Okay.
All right.
Next animal, Spike,
Ah,
the
Spike.
monkey from Ace Ventura. This, to me, I know I haven't been super opinionated. This is S tier.
Me too.
This is one of my favorite animals of all time. Is Spike the monkey?
Real life monkey, completely devoted to Ace Ventura.
Yeah.
Also played in multiple roles in multiple movies. So,
Yeah.
good
Are we
good for that
talking like
specific
all
monkey.
capuchins or just
No,
the specific
No,
monkey?
just-
No, it's that
Spike.
specific monkey.
That
Yeah,
specific one.
Spike.
I'll be honest, I've never seen the movie. So
You haven't seen Ace Ventura?
never seen it.
I have, and it does not hold any special place in my heart. So
Oh.
I put him as
That
I'd
was
put
one of
him at
my
a C.
favorite movies growing up.
I can quote every word of both movies.
I'd put him at a C.
I don't even remember
All
him
right.
from Ace
Travis,
Ventura,
we're gonna have to
so-
settle on an A, I think.
I'm okay with A. I could not do lower than an A. I would throw feces. I don't know.
Well,
You could
Drew-
not do lower than an A?
I couldn't do. I was saying S. I was like, he's like,
No,
oh, yes.
absolutely not. C at
No.
best.
He's
No,
not.
no,
Travis,
do not put him at
Travis,
A.
Travis,
There's
I
enough,
think we're gonna
enough
have
consensus that
we're
you
gonna
have to
put
at
him
least
at
put
a
him
B.
at a B.
We're gonna have to put him
Like,
at a
I
B.
don't even remember
I
that
hate
the
it. I
character
hate it.
existed. So that just seems like a
I legitimately cannot
Yeah.
remember a scene that
That's a
that
good
monkey's
point.
in.
He's gonna have to be a B, Travis.
God, I hate all of you so much.
I want him in S too, but they're right. I mean, Ace Ventura.
They're
and
not.
the-
They're not. It's one of the
No,
best.
but the
animals of all
fact
time.
I agreed,
It's
but
very specific to you.
Ace Ventura,
as
Yeah,
individuals.
yeah. It's
was
an
not as well
opinion
known as some of
podcast.
these
That makes sense. Next animal, Jaws. Guys, this was another really long episode. Please stay tuned next week for the epic conclusion of our animal tier list and our Halloween Would You Rather. Big shout out for Jamie Jackson for joining us on the podcast this evening. Please go buy her book. It's called Bound to the Fate of Kings, and you should go buy it on Amazon or Barnes & Noble. Just go do it. And as always, if you want to support the show, there is a link in the description where you can support our bar tab, and we can drink, we can buy new equipment, we can maybe do a live show together, maybe we could tour, maybe we could do merch, we could do all sorts of things. We just need a little bit of help. So click that link and donate if you can. But as always, remember this is our podcast and you're just along for the ride.